Hola, YouTube. Hola to my friends. Thank you for tuning in. Whether I get one viewer or 1,000 viewers, I really appreciate this. I really appreciate your viewership. My friends, thank you. Um, while we're making nice pleasantries and stuff like that. Well, I am at least. Um, Please hit like because the algorithm like that, and it's good for the algorithm to give me some rhythm. All right, so today, um, December 27th, I just wanted to remind y'all that Joe Biden either didn't read or view the Christmas list, and then if he did, he disregarded the Christmas list, and now he's going to disappoint a lot more of his base because when I created that Christmas list, I forgot about the child care credit because I don't have no children, and not that I wasn't trying this year, but it's really tough to date in Chicago with the pandemic going around. Okay, so those of us who are still single and who've been single for way too long, we have to become a little bit more creative in our dating endeavors in the pursuit of. Oh, let me stop being silly. But in all seriousness, though, Joe Biden, I don't think he want to be reelected. To be honest with you, because when he first got in office, he himself and his Democratic peers were pushing through some good policy concerning stimulus, concerning social welfare. And when I say welfare, I'm not talking about people getting checks. I'm talking about the promotion of people's general welfare. In that regard, our social welfare. Excuse me. He was doing some pretty good things, even though he's well. No, I'm not even going to get into politics. Not going to get into politics. Just know that I don't choose sides. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm just somewhere in the middle of all that. But I can recognize good efforts as well as criticize bad efforts. And so um, right now, Joe Biden finds himself in an unenviable position where basically the Senate's completely gridlocked, and then Joe Manchin's playing Grinch right now, pretty much announcing that he's not going to sign, or I'm sorry, he's not going to vote for, excuse me, the social welfare. No, social, not welfare. I keep saying that word. Not welfare. the social stimulus program. Joe Manchin not having it, even though Joe Manchin really is a rhino. I'm sorry, it is a dino. He's a Democrat in name only. He's essentially running under the Democrat name, but in all actuality, he's really his values are more lean towards the Republican side, which nothing wrong with that in theory. Um, he's just not loyal, as Chris Brown would say. He's so disloyal. He probably make a Chris Brown song, But I digress. Um, so Manchin is basically going to play this role. He's demonstrated that he's determined to play this role where he wants to be the thorn in the Democrats' proverbial asses, until for as long as there's a 50-50 gridlock in Congress. So essentially, with him vowing not to vote for the social stimulus program, and I'm pretty sure Kyrsten Sinema is not going to vote for either way. That social stimulus plan, which was like $2 billion, well, it was like $3.8 billion. I mean, $1 trillion. That's been trimmed up to 1.8 trillion, I believe. Essentially, that's going to die. Um, and Joe Biden has threatened to bring out a vote, but honestly, he's not. I don't foresee him doing that within the next month or so, simply because he's just going to embarrass himself. It'll just be a colossal waste of time. I mean, he could do it to put Joe Manchin on the spot, but see, Joe Manchin doesn't care about being a villain or being, seen being villainized. Um, Joe Manchin he's very much okay with being a pain in the ass, for Democratic interests. And this doesn't bode well for Democrats. I don't think they're going to fare very well in the midterms, and they usually don't. I mean, the last midterms was an exception just because Donald Trump was such a unpopular president in those circles. But even then, they didn't really dominate like they should have. I mean, they lost some toss ups that were leaning Democrat on, according to the media, only to for the Republican to occupy that seat. And so, and I don't think they're going to fare very well either. And then also, what's hurting Joe Biden is the fact that, and I'm speaking, to his, in regard to his base. He's not going to be. He needs to pass a Civil Rights Act. Like, Republicans have pretty much gerrymandered the hell out of Georgia and Texas, and oh man, and then they pretty much just destroyed voting rights for a lot of people of color. As much as I hate that term, but I think it applies here. Jerry, and he's just sitting on. He's been sitting on his hands for an entire year. Like Republicans just didn't start gerrymandering and changing voting laws and things of that nature yesterday. I mean, yesterday in terms of like several months ago, yeah. You know, the Democrats have just been sitting on their hands and trying to find reasons not to update the Voting Rights Act and make it permanent. Well, because the current one, you know, the way that a couple of Supreme Court decisions have gone within the last and mind you, I'm just speaking from memory. I'm not speaking from any research that I've done, just memory. So within the last 8 years or so, where they've been pretty much allowing um, southern states that have a legacy of disenfranchising black people to pretty much change their voting laws without any kind of oversight and redraw their districts without any type of federal oversight. And those states, you know, Georgia and Texas most prominently have been, you know, redrawn with no kind of penmanship whatsoever. So, you know, Joseph Robinette, I think you done. I think you ain't passed nothing that your constituents want. You haven't been able to work out anything across the aisles. And look, I think you should have just done away with the filibuster this year, honestly. But you know, because you want to stick to tradition, you know, you didn't do the obvious thing that you needed to do, which was get rid of the filibuster. It serves no purpose for anybody. But, you know, Mitch McConnell, you know, you scared of his ghost and everything. He scared you a little bit, you know, by threatening to basically slow down every procedure possible as part of the minority. Forget his as the minority leader of his party, like Joseph, and then you didn't even do anything that you had unilateral power over. Oh yeah, you kicked the can down the road when it came to the student loan debt and everything. But listen, there's a lot of people out here who need that student loan debt eliminated way more than me. That's part of your base. You talked about some progressive things, really trying to, you know, channel Bernie Sanders so that you could, you know, win your presidential seat. But you ain't done nothing progressive at all. You know, you even messed up the stimulus check. You bait and switched us. You told us you were giving us $2,000. And then once you got in office, I remember when you told us that on national TV in Georgia that if your base got Warnock and the other white guy elected into the Senate, that you were going to start issuing stimulus checks for $2 grand, and then when you got in the office, it became a Freudian slip. All of a sudden, oh, I meant minus the amount that you received already. It don't work that way, Joseph. If you say 2,000, that's what the people expect. That's what the people want. And then you're not giving out any more stimulus because, unemployment's down now and all that other stuff. But you're not taking into consideration that, that the jobs that we need as the general public, the work from home jobs and stuff like that, though they're not as easy to obtain as the McDonald's jobs and all the all the other jobs that you consider part of the help. Come on, I know you've referred to. Well, no, I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna spread no false information. That could be because even though I'm joking in a way, while telling the truth in a way, um, I don't want to be accused of purposely promoting false information for those who don't have a sense of humor. So I don't know what you're gonna do, man. The progressives don't like you. The moderates don't like you. Well, who? Well, forget the moderates because nobody likes the moderates anyway. They're ooh boy, I almost cussed on YouTube, but they're a bunch of cowards, and nobody likes anybody straddling the fence. Moderates are like men who always get friend zone. They're the ultimate friend zone. The play date buddy. The man who's gonna hold the woman's purse without having any kind of benefit come out of that, beforehand or afterwards. Like, I mean, if I guess you could hold the woman's purse while she's in the waiting room if you guys are a couple and you're involved with each other. But I digress. I'm not interjecting any kind of relationship advice with this conversation. This is politics, political theater. Nothing better than a bunch of white men just bickering. While our lives are on the line. Y'all gonna learn. Y'all gonna start. And see, this is why young people, y'all need to participate in politics, but you need to participate with an understanding of the Constitution and the separation of powers. And a lot of you do not understand the Constitution, and especially with regard to the separation of powers. Um, there's an executive branch, which is the president, the White House, and the president. There's executive branch. There's a legislative branch, which is the House of Representatives, and the Senate, and then there's a judicial branch, which is the Supreme Court. And so, because we don't actively promote when I say, well, actually, no. Let me phrase that. Because the wealthy don't actively promote um, educating people um, on how the government works, how the federal government works, and you know the public is just plain stupid when it comes to politics. um, the separation of power was intended to make the government inefficient, but so that it's hard to stage a coup. But well, no, I'm not going to get into what happened under the last administration either. But anyway, what it was intended to do was for government to just not work altogether. Like those politicians, the politicians that are elected need to be kicked out of office, and we need to just retry this whole thing. But it's not going to happen. It never will happen, and we'll be modern day Rome before we take proactive action on the government that doesn't work and on our national debt. So there you go. Well, I was hoping for this video to be short. Yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here at the 23-minute mark. So for all my friends, thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, subscribe. If you're already subscribed, hit the like button. If you ain't subscribed, hit the like button. Just like me, because I'm likable. All right, I'll catch y'all, next time, next video. Good night.